Translation, purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Vyasadeva said, "All you have said about me is perfectly correct. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. For you are a man of unlimited knowledge due to your being the offspring of Brahma, who is self-born, without mundane father and mother." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body or the mind with the self. As such, all knowledge disseminated in the material world is related either with the body or with the mind. And that is the root cause of all despondencies. This is not always detected. Even though one may be the greatest erudite scholar in materialistic knowledge, it is good, therefore, to approach a personality like Narada to solve the root cause of all despondencies. Why Narada should be approached is explained below, the next verse, which you will hear from another Vaishnava tomorrow. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadandikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangalam gayate girim yakripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. By the mercy of my spiritual master, a lame man can cross mountains. By the mercy of the spiritual master, a blind man can see stars in the sky. By the mercy of the spiritual master, a dumb man like me can speak eloquently. I offer my humble obeisances to the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shimate Tamala Krishna Goswamini Tinamini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskara Desatarine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Sri Vyasadeva said, "All you have said about me is perfectly correct. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. For you are a man of unlimited knowledge due to your being the offspring of Brahma, who is self-born, without mundane father and mother." So the attitude of Srila Vyasadeva, it's so correct, yeah. Very honest with himself. He, even though Narada Muni was very truthful in his words, that you are so advanced spiritually, you are so disciplined, this described that so advanced in austerity, in tapasya, in spirituality, it's described that despite my being absorbed in transcendence under disciplinary regulations and vows, still I'm not satisfied. So the mood of a devotee should be like that. The attitude of devotee, no matter how qualified we are or advanced we are, it's important to see ourselves like ants in front of the spiritual master. Vyasadeva actually was a Brahmavadi before the Srimad Bhagavatam became a manifest. He was a Brahmavadi. Why? Because empowered by the Lord, the literary incarnation of the Lord is non-different from Lord Vishnu. Now you may think, how come Lord Vishnu is a Brahmavadi? The Lord, he can be anything. He can be a Mayavadi, a Brahmavadi, and everything is in him. Brahmajyoti exists in the Lord. So Srila Vyasadeva was very confused. I've done all the Vedas, everything that there is to be done, because the Vedas, they deal with the creation. But there was something missing. Maya dyakshena prakriti sutyate sacharacharam. Behind this creation, there is the hand of God. There is a creator. Because he put everything there, the creation, the karma, the living entities, nature, cosmic manifestation, everything was written down, and how everything works. But there was the most important thing missing, the creator. This is actually all the books of this world, they deal, most of the books, they deal with the creation, with knowledge. They are all extract from the Vedas. But they have no essence, no importance. They are important to understand the material energy, because we are in this material world, material body, so we are concerned about the material environment. But very few, just like when I used to sell some paintings in the past, very, the clever people, intelligent, they would appreciate the painting. But very few, they would ask, who is the artist? So people, they appreciate the creation very much, which is the fruit of the Vedas, created by Lord Brahma. But very few, they want to know about the creator. If there is a painting, there must be an artist. That is something obvious, isn't it? If there is a creation, there must be a creator. So Narada Muni saw Vyasadeva and said, you put down, the energy of God here, but without God. You wrote about the creation, but without the creator. And that's why you are unsatisfied. Even though you are so advanced spiritually. Brahmavadi is very advanced position. And even his son, Sukadeva Goswami, was a Brahmavadi. Until he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. You could see that Bhagavatam, it makes someone a Vaishnava complete. So you could see that Sanatana Goswami, there are so many personalities that even though very advanced, pure devotee, but when they confront, when they face the spiritual master or a Vaishnav, they feel that they're unsatisfied. They're very unhappy, despondent. He had a blade of grass in his mouth and said, "Please tell me, why am I suffering?" This is the same mood of Vyasadeva. Tell me why I am suffering. Devahuti also, to Kapila Muni, Purusham Prakritim Brahman, Navimunchiti Karichit. Please tell me, my dear my dear Brahmana, what is the cause of my suffering? What is, even though she was the mother of God, what is the cause of the suffering of all the living entities in this world? Nityatvad Prabhu. They're all nitya, eternally bound by this anayo Prabhu. With this material energy. Please tell me how to become free. And Kapila Muni gave the answer. Yanina drishta tattvena vairagyena baliyasat tapo yuktena yogena trivaranatma samadhina. You could see everything from the Vedas was there. Jnanina drishta tattva. In order to see the tattva, you have to become determined in your knowledge. Jnanina drishta. Drishta means determined. Vairagyena baliyasa. You have to perform very strong. Baliya means very strong. Vairagya, renunciation. Vairagyena baliyasa. Tapo yuktena yogena. Strong tapasya, yoga. In order to enter into the transcendental samadhi. Trivranatma samadhina. So it's not enough when we understand things or when we realize things. Srila Vyasadeva was actually realized Brahmavadi, very high personality, spiritually very advanced. But he just wrote it down about the power of God, the energy of God. And that is actually materialistic. You give it to the living entities and you just indulge them to carry on being materialistic, to enjoy the kingdom of God but without God. So he was, it was actually a wrong thing to do, to give just half of the truth to the people. It's just like, you invite the people, they preach, devotees, they preach, someone came, and established this movement, and he did this, he did that, but he don't address Srila Prabhupada. It is quite offensive, because it's nice to address the work, glorify the work of this person, but it's also nice to identify, to tell people who is this person, who's been behind, this catalyst, behind this manifestation of this movement. So that's why it's very, very fine line. The materialist people, they tend to be very attracted. It's very lucrative proposal for them to read about anything to do with the sense gratification. Just like it says in the purport, yeah, anything to do with the body and the mind. That's what the Vedas they are there for. They're just meant to satisfy the body and the mind. It's there in this little purport. Duryodhana, for example, this is another example. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, I can't remember which canto, but Prabhupada said, the difference between Duryodhana and Arjuna was that one was after the power of God and the other one was after God. Duryodhana was interested to get the army of Krishna, the Akshayini, and he was not interested to know about Krishna, to have a Krishna on his side. See, people, they give more power to the creation. Like, I meet a lot of Islamic fundamentalists. God has no form. The power of God is actually very abstract. It doesn't have a form, and it doesn't have. You can't see God. As soon as you tag a picture of a personality, and you say this is Allah, it's a sacrilege. It's very offensive for them. So therefore, they give the all-powerful, the creation, the one who creates. So they're not interested really to know who is this Allah. And so this is the situation. Even the greatest scholar of all the Vedas, if he doesn't understand God, if he doesn't want to understand God or who is God, then everything that he has will be nullified. Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhakto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Lord Brahma himself, he stated, the greatest scholar of Vedic study, he cannot understand you. Because the Vedas, they give the truth so many ways how to come to Krishna, but it's very voluminous. It's so difficult. That's why Lord Krishna himself, he says, Bhaunam jamanam ante yamanam mam prapadyate. You could be studying the Vedas birth after birth after birth. Long journey, long way. But Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sadurlabha. Such a soul is very rare who comes to me after studying the Vedas. Manushanam Shahasreshu Kashityatadi Siddhaye. Where does it go? Kashinma Vetitatvata. That very few, they understand. Very few, everybody, many people, they know the way. Many religionists, spiritualists, they say, we know the way. But very few, they walk the way. And who are those few? The followers of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's correct what Jesus said, I am the way. So Srimad Bhagavatam, it's actually, Lord Krishna is the way. Understanding God, and even if you don't understand the Vedas very well, then you will go to God. Because it's the shortcut. That is why Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavanyas jasmitatvata. It doesn't say jnanamam abhijanati or tapanam abhijanati or yoganam. Krishna says bhaktyamam. Just with little devotion to God, then you can come to God. And Doesn't matter whether you know the Vedas, you don't know the Vedas, how much you know. So this is the Narada Muni came to give the shortcut. You are very sincere, because the faith of Srila Vyasadeva was strong. He inquired, why am I suffering? Why am I unsatisfied? That everything starts from faith. Sincerity, a sincere endeavor to see if someone is sincere. It's that person has a faith. What is faith? Faith is the sincere desire to inquire who I am, where I come from, what is this world is all about. That is why Atoshrada, everything begins from faith. Vyasadeva displayed an act of faith, inquiring. And then you see Sadhu Sangha came. Atoshrada, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. It's all very perfect, this process. Without the help of a devotee, you cannot start your bhajan. He could not write Srimad Bhagavatam unless he was helped by Narada Muni. As soon as Narada Muni, Sadhu Sangha, he gave him the understand that without the bhajan, then you cannot proceed towards the anartha nivritti. So writing the Srimad Bhagavatam, that's what we are doing. We are all involved in bhajana kriya today. By the mercy of some devotees. In the beginning we had a leap of faith to inquire, to come to the temple. We took off our clothes as a master and put on clothes as a servant. And we inquired very humbly, submersively. Tadvidi pranipatena. That is the mood of a devotee. That was the mood of Vyasadeva. And then a Vaishnava tells you that there are things, very dear to Krishna to understand the process of advancement. Those things are called tadiya. They tell you what are those tadiya. It's not just devotee of Krishna, paraphernalia, but there are 5 very important things. Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai. That a sadhu or a guru, they advise us to associate with and to what are those 5 things which are very dear to Krishna? Any new person? Yes, one of them. Just tell me one of them. Yes, association with devotees. And Sadhu Sangha, it's one. And another one? One from the ladies. Lord Chaitanya, he always mentioned about 5 items in devotional service. Chanting the holy name, yes, Jagapriya. One more from Maharati in knowledge of Krishna, Sutapa. Living in the Dham, associating with the Dham. Living in the Dham, which means in a holy place. One more? Worshipping the deities or Tulsi, yes. Those are things very dear to Krishna. And the last one, which is the one that we are doing today. Which one is, Mataji? Yes. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Studying Srimad Bhagavatam. If we become attached even to one of those things, then, our bhajana kriya, it's successful. you can see that everything starts from faith. Faith is like, in the beginning, is very liquid. It's like milk. You put a milk on the stove. The same milk, you churn it, the process. The bhajana kriya is the process of churning. And then, nartanivritti is all the impurity from the milk that comes up. And then you carry on churning, becomes sweeter and sweeter, and becomes burfi. So faith in the beginning is like that, is a liquid milk. Then you churn it with the sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, nartanivritti, and then ruchi, ashakti, bhava, and prema. You could see the origin of prema is faith, the same faith. So faith, it is love. It's like the origin of burfi is milk. So that's what Narada Muni gave to Vyasadeva, Srila Vyasadeva, the secret, the shortcut. Because, as we said before, to understand Krishna just with the reading of the Vedas, it takes so many lives. There is one quote where Tamal Krishna Maharaj was quoting from the mundane knowledge of this world. It takes so many lives to understand the principle of God, just the principle. And that is just a fraction. The mundane knowledge of this world is just a fraction of the Vedas. The Vedas, they're very, very voluminous. So many lives is not enough. So Narada Muni was concerned, you're just writing all these to confuse and to waste the time and the life of the conditioned souls. So we are indebted actually to Narada Muni. He gave the cream, the Amala Purana, the cream of this milk of the Vedas, the Bhagavatam, which is the Bhagavatam. It's actually the essence. It's like the cream is the essence of milk. The Bhagavatam is the essence of the Vedas. Just with the Srimad Bhagavatam alone, one can reach perfection. It's very, it's not different from Krishna. It's very mystical. Trying to understand God, you understand His power. But trying to understand the power of God, you can never understand God. That's why the energy of God is always subordinate to the energetic. And that is why it's important to be a personalist. Vyasadeva started to become a personalist after writing the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we start to connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by understanding the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's when we start to become personalist. There is a very nice quote in the Prabhupada Lilamrita. And I can't remember the devotee asking the question in Mayapur, asking Srila Prabhupada, how do we identify how can we tell when a devotee in our society is a sincere devotee? And Prabhupada, he said, that person, he comes for Srimad Bhagavatam class every day. That's it. So all of you here, you're very sincere. And if you keep doing it, speaking for myself, I don't have a good sadhana. My chanting is not that good. Maybe the association of devotees here and there, casual, it's not that strong. I don't live very much in the Dham. But every day that's my sadhana. I enjoy hearing a little something from a Vaishnava about Srimad Bhagavatam. And that little thing, it takes you a long way. It takes you all day in Krishna, keeps you all day in Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the secret map how to get out of this material world. It's the book that makes us understand who we are, who is God, what is our relationship with God. And not only that, it gives you this ruchi, the bhava. You can see all the, you like to distribute it, to preach it to other people. The preachers are usually those who are attached to Srimad Bhagavatam. You can tell all the book distributors, no offense to any other devotees, they have extra. All the other devotees, they have attraction for Bhagavatam, but book distributors, they have extra fine taste. They're always attending classes, because you live with it. You hear about the book and you want to give it to people. You understand the holy name better by hearing Bhagavatam, and you also understand the association of the Vaishnava, the signs of associating with the devotees and the Guru. What is it? The three things, the Lord Chaitanya, all the three things are there into the heart of the preacher. Namaruchi, Vaishnava Seva, you like to serve a Vaishnava. And Jivadoya, you like to go out and distribute the Srimad Bhagavatam to the conditioned souls. Other devotees who have Namaruchi, Vaishnava Seva, and they don't preach, they're also great devotees. Or they may do daily worship, they may do different service, but there is an extra little fine specialty into the heart of those who are Jivadoya. The Jivadoya are those devotees who have understood the power of the holy name, the power of serving the Vaishnavas, and etiquette, the power of association, and also the power of the Srimad Bhagavatam and preaching. That's why Jivadoya means you are merciful towards other living entities. It doesn't mean that you give them some mercy just through book distribution. You could do like programs, Harinam, Prasad distribution, and cultivating like Radha Govinda is doing, Krishna wisdom. Even though you are in the temple, you don't even have to go out. Let people come to you. You give them Krishna consciousness. That is Jivadoya. Because you don't keep this Bhagavad, Vyasadeva didn't write it down to keep it for himself, isn't it? He did it to give it out. Ultimately, it was a great act of Jivadoya. Merciful. It was very merciful for us, for the Jiva, to get this gift of God. So it's very important. That is why the first canto, this very first canto, has got all these verses. Nastra praise Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And, regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is like, I was brought up in a Catholic monastery, And we had a mass, the church, the complete service once a week. So the Bhagavatam, the talk about God was only once a week. But here is every day. This is better than a church. Sometimes I take a job of work, old and and the church is closed. I like to go in, and have a darshan of Jesus. And I like to go in and chant my rounds in the church. But it's closed 6 days a week. On Sunday, they're open. Occasionally, they have some programs during the week. The house of God, it should always be open, isn't it? So anyway, this is few thoughts from my humble talk today, and we will adjourn the class. I will ask if there is any questions.